Hello, hello, good people. I'm Chris, and Sundays are about perspective, right? Today, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention in conversations about money, at least in my opinion, and that is financial peace. Not financial hype, not financial noise, but peace. Why peace comes first. Most people chase numbers, bigger account, higher net worth, a faster return. And all those things are nice, right? But here's what experience teaches you. If your money costs you peace, it's too expensive. I know you guys have heard me say it before, and I will touch bases on it again from time to time because we as human beings, things need to be brought back to our forefront. We need to be reminded of things. Otherwise, you get all off path. You get all off. Your focus get misconstrued, and when your focus get misconstrued, it's gonna show up in other areas, right? It's gonna show up in your financial areas. It's gonna show up in your marriage. It's gonna show up on the job. It may show up while you're riding down the road, having to deal with road rage, and it can put you in situations not putting you in the best possible position to succeed. And the only thing I want to be a part of bringing anything to you is putting you in the best possible position to succeed. I'm all about good returns. A good return is good success. I'm all about good success. If it's not tied to good success, I don't want nothing to do with it. That's in my finances, that's in my marriage, on my job, driving down the road. It doesn't matter what I'm a part of. If it's involving any of my time, I want good success from it. If I'm not having a good time, I want good success out of my good time. If I'm not just wasting time doing nothing, I want good success, wasting time doing nothing. If that makes no sense to you, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just sharing mine, right? This is my channel, this is my time, this is what I have to share. Financial progress that produces anxiety isn't progress, it's pressure. And if it's not progress, if it's pressure, it's not good success. So, all right, what financial peace actually is. Financial peace doesn't mean you never check your accounts. I check mine often. It means you understand what you own. You know why you own it. You're not reacting emotionally. You're not rushed by every headline. Peace comes from clarity and structure, not from perfection. Now, I just touch bases on headlines. Hey, I stay in touch with what's going on in the news, especially the financial world, right? So I'm aware of most headlines. Regularly, I'm aware of most headlines. If it's a hot headline, I'm going to get some kind of notification and I'm going to be made aware of that, right? Because I'm tied into those things. They are part of the air that I breathe. You might not function that way. I'm talking about me right now. So when I hear headlines, or when I read red lines, when I get notification and then I get familiar with what the headline is, then I do what I do. I go to Brother Google and I do my research to figure if I find validity to the headline, to the news that I've heard. And based on what I find in my research, I govern myself accordingly. I will act accordingly. If I feel like I need to hedge a position, if I feel like I need to protect some capital, whatever the case may be, I will take action at that time. But I'm not going to just move because I hear something, right? I'm going to fact check that to see what I hear between my two ears and how I interpret that news, right? And I interpret that news based on my experience and what I've been, areas that I've been growing in over the past 5 years in my financial journey. So let's look at peace versus freedom, an important distinction. Excuse me. Financial freedom gets all the attention, but peace comes first. If you don't get that, If you don't get that today, you're going to get it in one of these tomorrows. You're not going to get to your financial freedom till you first get your peace. All right, so peace comes first. Freedom without peace leads to overtrading. It leads to overextending, right? It leads to overthinking. But peace gives you margin. What is margin? Cushion, right? It's cushion, space cushion, whatever you want to call it. Margin is extra, right? Margin is when you look at your account and you see yourself up, you have margin. You put in X amount of money, and this is where your bottom line is at this point. You have margin, or you don't, right? Peace gives you margin, right? Peace gives you patience, right? Peace gives you confidence. Last night, took my shower, getting ready for bed, and some thoughts bombarded my mind. What were those thoughts? The thoughts was, you got to put in the work. You got to trust the process. You got to put in the work. You got to trust the process. Like, where did that come from? Then I looked at it in multiple areas. I looked at it physically. I looked at it spiritually. I looked at it financially. You got to put in the work, and you got to trust the process. So we're talking about how peace gives you margin, peace gives you patience, peace gives you confidence. When you put in the work, you start building confidence, right? When you start trusting the process, you start having confidence because you know you're putting in the work. You already know what the process is. You know how the process works, and you begin to trust the process. So as you put in the work, you trust the process. You know you made a sound decision by getting into this ETF or this stock. You already know it's a sound decision because you did your research, right? You know what the 52-week high is, you know what the 52-week low is, you've done your research, you see what it's expected to do over the next couple of years, or you see what that stock or ETF is going to be providing to the world for the next couple of years based on the different contracts and the different things that it has in the pipeline. So you know what it has in the pipeline, you know the contracts that it has going on. This thing is going to gain popularity. This thing is going to have a good use purpose for mankind. So it's going to go up, right? And you know you got in at a good entry level. So now you just want to DCA week over week, bi-week over bi-week, or once a month. You just want to build that position out nice and strong, because sooner or later it's going to run. You just need patience because you already have put in the work, the research. You already trust the process. You know how it works. Now all you got to do is be patient. And that's what peace brings about. Put in the work, trust the process. Better decisions. Peace brings about better decisions. Peace is what allows freedom to last. So when you have that financial freedom and you want it to last, okay, moving on. I'm not gonna get hung up in nothing. I gotta close out. I got other things to do as I close out my weekend, right? How peace shows up daily. Financial peace shows up when? Shows up when you can say, not yet. It shows up when you don't chase what you don't understand. It shows up when you trust your process. It shows up when you can sleep well at nighttime. It's not about being rich, it's about being settled. If you understand what settled and established is. If you don't, you have a little research to do. Faith and stewardship. Faith reframes money. It reminds us that money is a tool, not a master. I said that countless times, and as long as I have breath in me, I will remind folks that money is a tool and not a master. If you let money become your master, sooner or later you will learn it was only a tool, and you let it somehow fool you into thinking it was your master. Stewardship isn't about control, it's about responsibility with peace. Responsibility, peace, working together in combination, that's what stewardship is. When peace leads, money serves. When peace leads the way, money serves, right? It does not rule, it serves. All right, that whole circle. Money has a whole circle. Lion King, the circle of life. Money has a circle. It's not meant to be held on to, tied to. It's meant to put. It's meant to be put to work. And when you put it to work, it comes back around a little bit bigger. How did it get bigger? It went to work. When it went to work, it grew. So it came back bigger. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone. So, as you enter this new week, this second week in this year of 2026, don't ask how much more can I make. Ask, is my financial life producing peace, or is my financial life producing me peace? Because peace is the clearest sign that you're building the right way. If this message helped you today in any way, please hit that like, subscribe, and share it with someone maybe seeking peace and not pressure. Go into this week settled and not stressed. Walk in wisdom, my friend.